Hey everybody, I'm Karen Trelfa. I'm a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator and have been for almost 20 years now. And if you've ever looked at someone doing this and thought, I could never ever do that, I want to tell you a story because I promise you, I was way less qualified than you are right now. About 20 years ago, I got invited to a stamping party. I didn't stamp, I didn't scrapbook, I didn't even papercraft. I went because it was for my sister and I wanted to see my family. My husband actually said to me as I was leaving, "You don't scrapbook. Why would you go to that?" Of course, I went and we made some cards that day. And I was like, oh, this is fun. I actually like this. So, of course, I got a catalog. And that evening, I went through it page by page and I fell in love. I came back to the next party, which was also at my house that my daughter was hosting, and I handed the demonstrator my order. Now, this was a little bit of an order. In fact, it was a 4-page type list. Every item number, single spaced, 4 pages long. And she looked at it and said, "You really need to just buy the starter kit and get all of this at a discount." And of course, I was like, no way. I already own a business. I don't have time for that. I pointed at my daughter-in-law and she said, nope, not happening. So the demonstrator just re-looked over my list and said, I would love to take this order, but you really need to get the kit so you can have the discount on this. Well, eventually I did buy the starter kit just for the discount. That's it. I was only going to place one order and be done. Then the boxes came. I unloaded everything onto the dining room table and there it sat for about a month or more until my husband looked at it all and said, was all of this really necessary? Well, I can be a little bit of a smarty pants, so of course I just said, follow me. Come on, this way. I walked him out to his garage, pointed around at all of his stuff, and I said, yeah, I think it was this necessary. Of course, he answers me, point taken. Then we went to Florida for the winter. I boxed everything up, took it with me, and put it in a closet. A couple months later, same daughter-in-law comes down to visit and says, Mom, you have all this stuff. Why aren't you teaching people how to make cards? You have a clubhouse right here that you can use. They probably don't even charge. And I said, well, I would have to learn how to make a card first because I haven't done that ever. Never, ever one have I made one card other than the one at that one party. I had been to 2 parties, placed a huge order, and that was my entire crafting experience. My dad then, without even asking me, went and booked the clubhouse for me. Comes back the next day and says, you're all set 2 weeks from Tuesday. So just put up a sign-up sheet in the activity center and then you'll be taken care of. So now I have to go learn how to make a card, design a class, and teach it, having never attended a class in my life. So I went and put up the sign-up sheet. I had 15 lines on it. I went back a week later to collect it, and people had been adding their name to new lines, extra lines. 23 people signed up for that class. 23 people at my very first class for a craft I had literally never done before. And of course, I decided to do 10 different card designs because I thought, who wants to make the same card twice? Today, of course, we all do one for the stash and one to give away. But back then, I had no idea what I was doing. I just showed up and figured it out. That was almost 20 years ago. I was only ever going to place that one order. I was never going to become a demonstrator. And I definitely wasn't ever going to teach a class. And yet, here I am, still making cards, still teaching, still figuring things out as I go. I know, now I know the word demonstrator scares people. It sounds like a big commitment. So I like to call them happy shoppers because honestly, a lot of people on my team signed up just to get the discount on the items that they were already buying. That's it. No selling, no teaching, no parties, just shopping smarter. Some of them stayed happy shoppers. Some of them eventually started sharing with friends. A few of them built something bigger, but every single one of them started the exact same way, just wanting a better deal on the supplies they were already spending money on. So if you've ever thought about it, even for a second, you are probably more ready than I was, and I turned out okay. If you want to know more about joining my team, everything's right here on the page. And if you just want to ask me a couple of questions first, my email is right below. Thanks for listening. Bye now. Have a stamp happy day.